Welcome to the Kidstown Bakery, my friends. This whole month as we learn about patience and why it's so important to God that we learn patience, we are also baking, which is a great way to learn patience. And I hope some of you were able to bake with us last week as we made the ooey gooey cookie bars. And today, Aurora will be leading us through another amazing culinary creation. And for the recipe from last week's dessert, you can go to the video in our playlist on YouTube and look in the description of the video. Today's recipe is in the description of this video, or you can always visit us at our kids table on Sundays to pick up the official recipe cards and visit me in person. I would love that. Right now, to help us get our minds wrapped around this topic of patience a little more, let's go to our Live Loud video for the month. Watch this.
How well do you wait? I totally get it. Waiting is super hard. We all want things we can't have quite yet. To find out the grade you got on that math test, for mom to finish work so you can go for a bike ride together, for the microwave to ding so your popcorn's finally done. Whether you're waiting for 4 minutes or 4 months, it can seem like forever. It's tempting to grumble and whine. It's not fair. Nobody else has to wait this long. It can be tempting to jump ahead and try to get what you want without waiting. But trying to skip the wait usually leads to a mess. So, take a deep breath and be patient. Ask God for help. Take the extra time to encourage a friend. And when the time is right, you can enjoy what you've been waiting on for so long. Yeah. When you wait without complaining, others can see God at work in you. That's why patience is an amazing way to worship God with your life. Because worship is about more than just singing loud. It's all about living loud.
Wow, so much to think about. I'm so glad we have each other to learn together. And we have an awesome God who never stops working on us. So hey, that reminds me, let's sing our new song together. It's called Working on Me.
Sometimes it's hard to wait for all the things that I want. Sometimes I kind of feel like it's just taking too long to get the things I want, what I think I need, but I know you know what's best for me. I'm gonna live what I believe. I'm gonna wait cause I know you're still working. I'm gonna have patience cause it'll be worth it. I'm gonna have faith, I know you have a purpose. I'm gonna wait cause I know you're still working on me. Still working on me. I know that sometimes I just need to slow down and trust that you are working all of this out. You know the things I want, what I think I need, but I know you know what's best for me. I'm gonna live what I believe. I'm gonna wait cause I know you're still working. I'm gonna have patience cause it'll be worth it. I'm gonna have faith, I know you have a purpose. I'm gonna wait cause I know you're still working on me. Still working on me. I'm gonna hold up, slow down. I'm gonna trust that you're working it out. I'm gonna hold up, slow down. I'm gonna trust that you're working it out. I'm gonna hold up,
our voices and sing what a good Father we have, shall we? He never gives up on us. He's always working on us.
I've heard 1,000 stories of what they think you like, but I've heard the tender whisper of love in the dead of night, and you tell me that you're pleased and that I'm never alone. You're a good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. I've seen many searching for answers far and wide, but I know we're all searching for answers only you can provide, 'cause you know just what we need before we say a word. You're a good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good Father. And I'm loved by you. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. You're a good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. You're a good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are.
Oh, hi, friends. Welcome to another exciting episode of Kids Can Cook. I'm your host, Aurora, and today we'll have another fabulous creation to cook in the kitchen. You know what I love most about breakfast? Of all the meals we eat each day, breakfast, more than the other meals, has foods that seem more like desserts than anything else. Pancakes, for instance, with syrup, and muffins, and hello, tiny little cakes for breakfast. Of course, we all love donuts, and don't forget those cereals with colored marshmallows or chocolate in them. In fact, breakfast foods can be so desserty that people just started making desserts out of them, and today's treat is no exception. This treat is a must for camping trips, movie nights, at home, or any time. But be sure to have wipes close by because they can get sticky. Today, my friends, we are making rice crispy treats. Now, can I tell you a little secret? Okay, here we go. Now, if you have spent much time around Miss Janine, you know she's a huge fan of marshmallows. Have you heard her talk about that before? She is one of those few people who you will meet that is not ashamed to tell you she loves Peeps and s'mores and anything marshmallowy. So I had to hide this bag. And when I read our list of ingredients today, I'll be whispering when I get to this part. I don't want to get her all hyped up, if you know what I mean. She loves them so much. Okay, friends, I'll go through the list of ingredients of what you need, and then you can pause the video and go get all your stuff. Here's what you need: a measuring cup, a kid-friendly knife, a big stove top pan, a 13 times 9-inch baking pan, a big spoon, a rubber spatula, and here are the ingredients you will need: a stick of butter, which we will later cut 3 tablespoons from non-stick cooking spray, 4 cups of mini you know what she goes hyper for. 6 cups of Rice Krispies or any type of your favorite cereal. The stove, be sure to have your cereal and your marshmallows all measured out and ready to be dumped in. This is one of those recipes that starts slow but gets going really fast, so it's best to have your ingredients ready. Before we go any further, let's spray our pan. Remember all my tips from last week? Don't get cray-cray with the spray. I say. And just like last week, we start our recipe with the butter. And we need 3 tablespoons, so we will cut it right here. Let's put it on the stove and melt it down over low heat. If we try to melt it too quickly on high, it will burn all brown and icky. Remember, patience, my friends. High heat, impatient, burning food. Having to apologize all the time. Not good. Low heat, patience. Not burning anything. Snoring and humming a song. Way better. Okay, once the butter is melted, we get to add in all the fluffy, sugary goodness and stir until we have this amazing, ooey, gooey, creamy marshmallow. Yum. Now we take the pot off the heat and stir in our cereal. We need to do it a little at a time so the marshmallow gets all spread around and all the cereal is coated. Now for the fun part. We dump it into the baking pan. Quickly wash your hands and then we grease up. We get to put a bit of butter on our hands and on our spatulas. For reals. Is this some kind of joke, you say? We get messy on purpose? Yes, sirree. Otherwise, your fingers and hands will end up coated in a stringy, sticky cereal and marshmallow jail that takes forever to get out of. Now we use the spatula and our pre-washed hands to spread the crispy treats evenly around the pan. Now we wait. Yes, our favorite thing to do. We have to let them cool completely before we can cut and serve them. So while you're waiting, let me ask you a question. What can you think about when it's hard to wait? Let's get back to our Kids Town lesson with Miss Janine. And I'll see you back here afterwards.
How do we stop being so impatient? It's not like you can just flip a switch and totally be, hello, fine. Patience is one of the most difficult things to get your arms around, especially at your age, or at my age, or any age, really. Frustration happens when we expect things to go a certain way and they don't, right? You know what I mean. But thankfully, we've got the Bible to help us navigate some of these questions. So today, let's take a look. Today's story is straight out of Exodus. Now, I know this looks more like I'm about to make s'mores than tell a Bible story, but since we're in the bakery, I'm using what I have. You know, you can use almost anything to tell a Bible story. And so today, as we talk about Moses, I'm using marshmallows. Ready? Here we go. So after Moses helped the Israelites escape the Egyptians and travel through the Red Sea, they gathered in an area around Mount Sinai, and Moses had gone up on the mountain to meet with God. Mount Sinai was a holy mountain. But now Moses had been gone a long, long time. The people saw that Moses took a long time to come down from the mountain. So they gathered around Aaron, and they said to him, "Come, make us a god that will lead us. This fellow Moses brought us up out of Egypt, but we don't know what's happened to him." They asked Aaron to make them a new god. They didn't even want the one that led them out of slavery and then had been taking care of them in the wilderness, and by the way, happens to be the only real true God. They wanted a God they could touch and see and worship. And of course, we know that you can't just make a statue and poof, it turns into God. But the Israelites, they completely forgot that. Just because they had to wait. We do crazy things when we get impatient, don't we? And Aaron, he was in a bit of a pickle. He didn't want the people to be mad at him. So he just kind of caved and did what they wanted. Sadly, Aaron went along with their plan, and he told them to collect all their gold jewelry that they had brought from Egypt. Remember all the stuff God had given them? So Aaron melted all their gold and formed it into, wait for it. Was it an eagle? Or a lion? Or something even cooler like a T-Rex? No. It was a cow. A golden calf. And then the people said, "Israel, here is your God who brought you up out of Egypt." Wait, what? It's here that we pick up our story today. It seems Aaron had even forgotten completely about God and about Moses and what he had told them, and the whole 9 yards. Impatience, it's wacky. Have you ever done something bad or crazy when you were tired of waiting? The Bible shows us over and over how this never ends well. Listen to what happened next. When Aaron saw what they were doing, he built an altar in front of the calf, and he put it in front of them, and he said, "Tomorrow will be a feast day to honor the Lord." So the next day, the people got up early. They sacrificed burnt offerings and brought friendship offerings. They sat down to eat and drink. Then they got up to dance wildly in front of their God. Meanwhile, up on the mountain, Moses was with God. Now, it's not like God didn't know what all the craziness was that was going down in the camp, but Moses didn't know. So he told Moses all about it, and he wasn't very happy. Here's what he said. The Lord spoke to Moses. He said, "Go down. Your people who you brought up out of Egypt have become very sinful. They've quickly turned away from me, from what I commanded them. They've made themselves a metal statue of a god in the shape of a calf. They've bowed down to it and sacrificed to it. And they have said, 'Israel, here's your God who brought you up out of Egypt.' I've seen these people," the Lord said to Moses. "They are stubborn. Now leave me alone. I will destroy them because of my great anger. Then I will make you a great nation." God was ticked. I mean, wouldn't you be? After all that God had done for the Israelites, rescued them from Egypt, parted the Red Sea, provided them with manna and water. And then, when God didn't act on their timeline, they totally forgot what he said about who he is and how to follow him. He was mad. You'd be really mad too. Moses, however, he didn't want to see his people, his friends, and his family suffer God's wrath. And he tried to calm God down a bit. You know, prayer does matter. And when we talk to God, and when we intercede for our friends, he listens to our prayers. Let's read about this in Exodus 32:11 through 13. But Moses asked the Lord his God to have mercy on the people. "Lord," he said, "why should you destroy your people in anger? You used your great power and mighty hand to bring them out of Egypt. Why should the Egyptians say, 'He brought them out to hurt them'? He wanted to kill them in the mountains. He wanted to wipe them off the face of the earth. Turn away from your great anger. Please take pity on your people. Don't destroy them. Remember your servants, Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. You made a promise to them in your own name. You said, 'I will make your children after you as many as the stars in the sky. I will give them all this land I promised them. It will belong to them forever.'" So God took pity on the Israelites. It didn't mean that they weren't going to have some pretty hefty consequences. But at least God wasn't going to wipe them out and start completely over. Here's what he says in Exodus 32:14 through 20. "Then the Lord took pity on his people. He didn't destroy them as he said he would. Moses turned and went down the mountain. He had the 2 tablets of the covenant law in his hands. Words were written on both sides of the tablets, front and back. The tablets were the work of God. The words had been written by God. They had been carved on the tablets. As Moses approached the camp, he saw the calf. He also saw the people dancing. So he was very angry. He threw the tablets out of his hands. They broke into pieces at the foot of the mountain. He took the calf the people had made. He burned it in the fire. Then he ground it into powder. And he scattered it on the water. And then he made the Israelites drink it. Ew! And then he pulled Aaron aside. Aaron, his trusted friend, second in command, the one who was supposed to keep everything under control. Moses demanded to know what was going on. And Aaron, well, he just kind of freaked out and straight up lied and blamed the people. Yeah, he was supposed to be this great guy, but he still lied under pressure. Have you ever done that? Let's read about it right here. So he said to Aaron, "What did these people do to you? How did they make you lead them into this terrible sin?" "Please don't be angry," Aaron answered. "You know how these people can be." And they said, "Make us a god that will lead us. This fellow Moses, he brought us out of Egypt, we don't know what happened to him. So I told them, okay, anybody who has gold jewelry, take it off and throw it in the fire. And they gave it to me, and I threw it in the fire, and out came the scaff. Moses saw that the people were running wild. Aaron had let them get out of control. The people had become a joke to their enemies. After that, Moses ordered everyone to clean house. Get things in order. Shape up our ship out. God wasn't happy with his people, but something was still true. His love for them. The Israelites, they were totally impatient. Even though they were finally saved from slavery in Egypt, and they'd seen all the things God did to take care of them, they still forgot all about God and his ways in about a month. They made a golden statue and they danced around it like crazy. And things became really out of balance in their lives. Honestly, isn't it the same with us? We tend to forget how things have worked out in the past, and we worry and we get fearful, or we even get angry, and that leads to impatience. And then we try to take things into our own hands and we mess up everything. What we really have to try to do is remember what's true. Remember the times when God was there in the hard times. Remember what it was like before, after you prayed and you felt God's presence, and remember how God surrounded you with great friends, like when you've come to new school or a new grade or church or to VBS, anywhere where you didn't know someone, and he always takes care of you. So let's get back to the question Aurora asked us earlier. She said, what can you think about when it's hard to wait? In the midst of the worst kind of waiting, where does your mind go? And more importantly, where should it go? And that reminds me of our bottom line for today. Our bottom line for today says, when you have to wait, remember what's true. Our mind can make up all kinds of imaginary scenarios and go crazy. But we have to know when we're waiting, it's important to remember what's true. And let me ask you something. Are you waiting for something? Does it seem like it's taking forever? Well, God's got this. He knows exactly where you are and what you need. So talk to him and tell him how you feel. Ask him to help you and to remind you of all the ways he takes good care of you. Because, like we sang earlier, he is a good, good Father, and we can trust him. Let's say our monthly verse together today before we go, shall we? It says, wait for the Lord. Be strong and don't lose hope. Wait for the Lord. And that's from Psalm 27:14. So what do you say? Is it about time to check in on Aurora and have some dessert? My marshmallow senses have been going crazy over here. I can smell hot, toasty, marshmallowy goodness in the air. Let's go see. Hey, how's it going?
Good. Wow, Miss Janine, sounds like some people got themselves into a very sticky situation.
Yeah, impatience got them into a real mess. And not only that, their fake God ended up in a crispy mess.
And then they had to drink bitter water. Yuck!
I know, but right now, we get to eat one of my favorite treats.
Marshmallow Rice Krispies.
Woo!
Keep practicing patience, my friends, because good things are worth the wait.
That's right. Cheers.
See you next week.